Hari Ram. Start. Coronavirus continues to devastate the world. Millions have died, and it's by no means over yet. Millions more are expected to die of this terrible blight upon the human race, which we know as coronavirus. At the present time, India is being very badly hit. First of all, it was China, then Iran, Italy, America, different places. But at the present time, India is being very badly hit. You may ask why. You can blame it on the government or blame it on China, and it's easy to point fingers. If you look a little deeper, we may look for biological reasons, social reasons, genetic reasons. That falls under biological. Well, I'm not a biologist, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a political analyst, I'm not a sociologist, but I have spent most of this life studying the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, Vedanta, and living according to those teachings. So I'd like to offer some perspective which goes deeper than the superficial causes. Why is India being so badly affected? Right now, it's not only the pandemic causing so much suffering. Practically every family is affected. Everyone knows someone who's died. Famous people are dying. Why India so badly affected? And at the present time, cyclones are also battering India on the west coast, another one forming on the east coast. So much suffering, so much misery. Why India, we should think, especially because considering that India is the land where the Supreme Lord Krishna himself comes, Rama has come, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come. This is the land of the great, so many holy places. We have the Char Dham in the Himalayas, Badrinath, Kedarnath, Yamunotri, Gangotri, and then the Char Dham, Badrinath again, Rameshwaram, Puri, Dwarka, so many holy places throughout the whole country. If you start to list them, you'll never come to an end. We have Ayodhya, Puri, Mathura, Vrindavan, Kurukshetra, Kanchipuram, Srirangam, Tirupati, so many holy places. This is the land of great holy rishis. Markandeya, living so long, Vyasadeva, another Chiranjeevi, Vashishta, Vishvamitra, Ekadvita Trita, Maitreya, so many great holy people. And traditionally this is the land of Punya, Punya Bhumi, the land where people understand what is dharma, where pious people get born. The famous rishis are there, but apart from that, there's so many pious people, great saintly persons who have appeared in this land, and still to the present day. Then we may wonder, why is this happening to India? If we look at it from the spiritual perspective, this is the land of spiritual knowledge. This is the land of spiritual practice. Not that there is not spiritual practice. Religion is there throughout the world, but the understanding of religion, Sanatan Dharma. By Sanatan Dharma, I don't mean Hinduism. I mean Hinduism is a modern name for the culture which has grown from Sanatan Dharma. But Sanatan Dharma is the knowledge, based on the knowledge given in Bhagavad Gita, the first teaching of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. We are all eternal spiritual beings. We are suffering birth after birth in this material world. We are meant for utilizing human life to get out from the terrible cycle of birth and death. And the best way to do that is to worship Lord Krishna in bhakti, in devotion. This knowledge is here in India, and that is the reason why India is being hit so bad. Why is anywhere hit so bad? Why is the pandemic going anywhere? We understand the karmic reaction. As you sow, so you shall reap. The Lord Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita about karma. But even in the Bible, we find Lord Jesus gives an indication of that. You get the results of how we act. And it's very subtle. But we get results of our activities. And in Kali Yuga, people are very sinful. They're going away from dharma. And therefore, we can expect in Kali Yuga, the more people are sinful, the more there will be reactions, and more in India. Coming to the point, we can expect more in India. We think it should be less because it's a land of piety. It's a land of spiritual knowledge. With knowledge comes responsibility. With knowledge comes respect. With knowledge comes responsibility. Just like, for instance, if an ordinary person is arrested for getting in a drunken brawl, well, it's not good. But if a university professor or a high court judge, I'm just giving this as an example. I don't know of any cases, but I'm just giving it as a theoretical example. If a high court judge is found taking part in a drunken brawl, it will be considered much worse than someone who doesn't have such position and such respect, which comes from his knowledge. So with knowledge comes responsibility. India is meant for practicing dharma. I'm not saying it's not doing that, but at the same time, we have in this country, at the present time, so much sinful activity going on. So much animal slaughter. Cow slaughter is particularly highlighted by certain groups. It's very bad. The cow is our mother. She's worshipable. She's the abode of all the demigods. She's very dear to Krishna. So it's very bad. But even daily killing of lakhs and lakhs of chickens, goats, and fish. So people should know better, at least in this land, not to do that. So many abortions are going on. It's very sinful. Even the use of pesticides, killing the creatures which are also God's creatures, that's also sinful. We worship Ganga and we pollute Ganga. We worship Yamuna and we pollute Yamuna. We put dams on all the rivers. They're not put there by Krishna. We can expect there will be reactions. Especially in the land where there is knowledge, where people should know what is right and what is wrong. In some ways, you can't blame people in other countries so much because they don't know. They're raised in a different culture. But Indian people should know better. They should live a life of piety and purity aimed at transcending the material situation. They should be kind to all living beings, not kill them and eat them. Those in knowledge should do so and set an example to the world. India is meant to be the guru for the whole world. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Bharata bhumite hoilo manusha janmaja Janma shata kari karo para upaka. Especially those who have taken birth as humans in the land of Bharata. They should make their life successful by spiritual practice, by chanting Hare Krishna, and do good for others. But nowadays we have redefined doing good for others as doing good for the body. That's also one kind of doing good, but that's not Sanatan Dharma, because the body is not eternal. Really doing good for others is giving spiritual knowledge to others so they may be delivered from the terrible cycle of birth and death in which there are pandemics one after another. There is suffering one after the other. So it should be a wake-up call for Indian people. Indian people should think, what are we doing? National policy. There should be national policy to make the Bhagavad Gita as it is the guidebook for this nation, and to formulate the way of life in this country based on the Shastras. That doesn't mean we have to hate people who subscribe to different kinds of religious beliefs. But the knowledge given in Shastra is the special treasure of India, and India should lead the world out of the darkness of ignorance which causes people to sin and which causes all kinds of suffering. India should do that by spreading this knowledge. It's a very bad age. People don't understand these things. They don't believe these things. They're not interested in these things. We should cultivate that interest individually, socially, nationally. In this Kali Yuga, the best way, or indeed the only way to revive spiritual life individually and collectively, is by chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kalau nascheva, 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 gatir anyata. In this Kali Yuga, there is no other way, no other way, no other way to achieve the ultimate destination but the chanting of the names of Hari, chanting of the names of Hari, chanting of the names of Hari. You may say, well, what's that got to do with coronavirus? Everything. Neglect of the spiritual culture has caused India to fall down from her most respected position as the spiritual leader of the world, and has come to this terrible situation where people are being wiped out, families are being destroyed, so much suffering. And we can expect more if we don't take to the lessons given by Lord Krishna, and unless and until we come to our senses and restructure society in the way that Lord Krishna has given us for our benefit. So there's the Bhagavad Gita perspective on why India is suffering so much from coronavirus, and in so many other ways. Even if there wasn't coronavirus, there's so much suffering in the world. All suffering is mitigated by Krishna Bhakti. It's suffering in this life, and there's future lives. We don't have future lives. We go to Krishna. Janma karma shame divyame vangyo veti tatvataha tyaktva dehang punar janma naiti mameti sarjuna. Krishna tells Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, the one who properly understands the nature of my, Krishna's, appearance in this world and activities does not take birth in this world again, but goes to me. So this should be the motto, the aim on which human society is structured. We're all going to have to die of coronavirus or whatever, but let us prepare ourselves before that to go to Krishna, and let us structure society, at least here in India, in such a way to set an ideal example to the world of how to live in harmony with Krishna's instructions. And in this way, this will bring all auspiciousness to the world. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.